Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yes, I am finally continuing with my Marianas Trench discography journey. The last Marianas Trench video I did was a year ago, and I did stop. I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry it's taken a full year to continue with my Marianas Trench discography journey, but finally we are here and I am determined to finish it. There are still 2 more albums left in their discography I have to listen to, so you know what? I'm just gonna finish it. Today I will be listening to their second studio album from 2009 called Masterpiece Theater. And then next Friday, a week from now, I will wrap up this Marianas Trench discography journey finally with their debut album, Fix Me. And I will say this discography journey has been really interesting because usually when I go on these journeys where I listen to the whole discography of a particular artist, I usually start with their oldest album, their debut album, or sometimes I'll start with their most famous and prominent album, and then I'll move on to their debut, and then through the years, their second album, third album, fourth album. This discography journey, I started with their new one, and then I just started going backwards. I started with Phantoms, their newest album from 2019, and then I moved on to Astoria, and then Ever After, and now we are moving on to their second album, Masterpiece Theater, and then we're ending this series with their debut album. And in case you don't know who Marianas Trench is, they are a very popular Canadian pop rock band from British Columbia, and they are highly popular in Canada, and they are really successful. So I am really excited to dig back into their discography. Now, looking at the track list for Masterpiece Theater, there are 12 tracks, and the album is 45 minutes. And the only tracks I recall hearing are tracks number 2, All to Myself, and track number 3, Cross My Heart. But like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. So let's kick it off with track number 1, Masterpiece Theater, Part 1.
First it comes on quiet, creeping his all these practice moves, I could wreck it if I had to.
Yes, track number 1, Masterpiece Theater Part 1. I mean, that's how you open an album. And what's interesting is that I am used to these sorts of songs from Marianas Trench, these grand songs that are so epic in scale. I'm used to hearing these sorts of songs from Marianas Trench after listening to Ever After, Astoria, and Phantoms. And what I'm really excited about is that there is a Masterpiece Theater Part 2, track number 6, and a Masterpiece Theater Part 3, track number 12. And please excuse me when I spray myself off with some water here. It's really hot outside. We are going through a heat wave in July. And I don't have the air conditioning on right now because if I had it on, it would be really annoyed hearing it in the background. So I have to put up with the heat in my apartment. So I have to cool myself off somehow. So this is one of the tricks I came up with. So now let's move on to track number 2, All to Myself.
Don't patronize, I realize. Please just follow me. I thought you wanted me 'cause I want you all to myself. I can try to suck it up, I just can't keep my filthy fucking mouth shut. Please just follow me. I thought you wanted me 'cause I want you all to myself. Make me feel like. Did you say please just follow me? Did you say follow me?
Yes, track number 2, All to Myself. I remember jamming to this song when I was a teenager, and I remember, Marianas Trench, if you grew up with Much Music, especially in the 2000s. You know how popular Marianas Trench was on Much Music. Much Music is a music station in Canada similar to what MTV was. I mean, these songs are great. I love Josh Ramsey's voice. He has such a powerhouse voice that I just love listening to it each and every time. Usually when I do these first listen videos, I like to read the lyrics and try to decipher what the artist is saying in their songs. I like to pick up on the meanings and the symbolism. Even though a lot of times it's very cryptic, I try to give my interpretation of a song, but there's no fucking time for that on this album. I just want to have fun. I just want to listen to the music. I'm not going to give you my impressions of what I think the songs are, but I'm just having too much fun right now. So now let's move on to track number 3, Cross My Heart. Alrighty, and that was track number 3, Cross My Heart. And this was another great song that I always enjoy listening to. Once again, this was a song I listened to a lot when I was a teenager, and it's full of energy, and it's so catchy. All these songs, I feel like most Marianas Trench songs are catchy as hell to begin with. They just really make you feel invigorated, and they just make you want to dance, and they're just really passionate, and they always make me happy. So now we're gonna move on to track number 4, Beside You.
When your tears are spent on your last pretense. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. If your heart is there, I will hold you up. You're overwhelmed and you've lost your breath. They've never been so late. If your heart is there, I will hold you up. Just trying to keep it together, 'cause I could do it so
Okay, that was track number 4, Beside You, and this was such a beautiful ballad. It was so tender and sweet to listen to. I loved the harmonies in this song, which was the highlight in my opinion. And as a whole, I always love how theatrical Marianas Trench's albums are, in essence, and I just love this album so far. I mean, if one thing's for sure, it's that Marianas Trench's albums are always very consistent. They're always consistently good, in my opinion, and their second album is no exception. I'll be right beside you, nobody will break you, and if your heart wears thin, I will hold you up and I will hide you when it gets too much. I'll be right beside you, nobody will break you. So now let's move on to track number 5, Acadia.
In the house I grew up in, my room in the basement, the hours turning behind me. Sometimes it reminds me when I hear that old song that we used to sing with the words all wrong. Ran out of gas on the highway. I remember the faces and familiar places. Acadia's gone.
Okay, and that was track number 5, Acadia, and this was another great song that I really enjoyed listening to. I like it a lot because it's about reflection and reminiscing about what happened. It's bringing up memories. He's saying, in the house I grew up in, my room in the basement, the hours turning to years we spent. Remember Chris in the backyard laughing so damn hard. I always like songs like this where the singer is reminiscing about what happened years ago and they're bringing back all these memories and these experiences they shared with other people, and I love these sorts of songs. For comparison, another song similar to this, where the artist is reminiscing about the old school days, about past experiences, is Nickelback's Photograph song. But the rest is forgotten behind me. Sometimes it reminds me of when we used to belong here. Every memory comes on when I hear that old song that we used to sing with the words all wrong. I remember the faces and familiar places. Did I sing all wrong? But Acadia is gone. Now, I actually don't know the meaning behind the word Acadia. I've never heard of it before. I did look it up, so I don't know if this is the actual meaning of the title of the song or if the title of the song means something else. I don't know, but Acadia from Wikipedia was a colony of New France in northeastern North America, which include parts of eastern Quebec, the Maritime provinces, and Maine to the Kennebec River. So now we will move along to track number 6, Masterpiece Theater Part 2.
I will softly
Okay, and that was track number 6, Masterpiece Theater Part 2. Very epic, very grand, and like I said already, this album does remind me of their future albums like Astoria, Ever After, Phantoms. It has that epic feel. Especially this song, Masterpiece Theater Part 2 and Part 1 as well. There are parts that remind me of Astoria. Out of the 3 Marianas Trench albums I've listened to already, Phantoms, Astoria, and Ever After, I do listen to Astoria the most, so that's why Astoria is so vivid in my mind, because I do listen to that album more than the other 2. So we will now move on to track number 7, Sing Sing. I'm genuinely out of breath. I'm exhausted. I'm not usually this pooped out at the halfway point of an album. We're only on track 7 and I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm out of breath, my heart's beating really fast. I mean, from all this bouncing up and down my yoga ball. I literally have no energy left. Also, before recording this video, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so I don't think that was the greatest idea with all the bouncing up and down I'm doing. I just... You get the idea. Anyway, Sing Sing, another great song. As I was listening to it, in the beginning stages of the song, I wasn't really feeling it. I was thinking, okay, this might be my least favorite song on the album so far. But once it hit the middle, and then by the end, I actually really loved it. So I don't know if it's still my least favorite song on the album. I don't know, I have to go back to all the tracks again, but I still love it just like all the other songs. I mean, the production alone is just really top-notch and really great. So we will now move on to track number 8, Good to You.
Words are coming now, and I can't find my breath. Can we just say the rest with no sound?
Okay, that was track number 8, Good to You, and this was a great way to kind of unwind and just chill and relax, especially after all the chaos I just listened to, all the bouncing and energy. I mean, it was nice to just kind of just relax and take in the beautiful ballad. And there is a female vocalist on the song. I don't know who it is. There's no feature or anything. I mean, obviously I could look it up, which I will. I will say though, this isn't one of my favorite tracks on the album. I liked it, but when I go back to the song, maybe, I mean, if I was to listen to Masterpiece Theater again, which I most certainly will, I don't know if this would be a go-to track. So we will now move on to track number 9, Celebrity Status. Alrighty, and that was track number 9, Celebrity Status. And yes, I've actually heard this song before. It didn't ring a bell as I was looking at the track list at the beginning of this video, but once I started listening to it and it got to the chorus, it definitely rung a bell. And this is a great song, once again, just like the rest of the album. I don't have any complaints. It's just a joy to listen to. I'm running out of good things to say. I love the production. I love his voice, like always. There's only so many ways I can praise the album and a song, so I just really enjoyed it. Trading in who I've been for shiny celebrity skin, I like to push it and push it until my luck is over. It never stops, never stops. Will you better think it's over? Prima donna, you don't want to sever. All the work to impress charming girls out of their dresses. Smiling pretty, well, pretty will swallow you forever. So now we will move on to track number 10, Perfect.
Please sing to me, I can see you up and have to breathe. Fast words make it easier. It used to come so easy. I like to say that it's easy to stay, but it's perfect. What you want, what you need has been telling me. The sound when I hit ground, I hit the way that I say. I think it's better this way.
Okay, and that was track number 10, Perfect. And this was an interesting song to read. He is saying, slow down now, the secret's out, and I swear now, everything is perfect. What you want, what you need has been killing me. Try to be everything that you want me to be. I'll say yes, I'll undress, I'll do more for less. I will change everything till it's perfect again. Shake hands and shoot smiles all around as I sell my body by the pound. Sign my name on the dotted line. It would be fate to not resuscitate. Slow down now, the secret's out. He could be singing about multiple different things in the song. I just found it interesting to read. It's just interesting that in track number 9, Celebrity Status, he's singing about there's a piece of me they're throwing back at us and they will buy you and sell you for celebrity status. And then in track number 10, he's saying, shake hands and shoot smiles all around as I sell my body by the pound. Sign my name on the dollar line. It would be fate to not resuscitate. Slow down now, the secret's out. So I don't know if he's singing about some sort of relationship or he's singing about his newfound fame being in Marianas Trench. This is their second album from 2009. So maybe now they're gaining more recognition, they're becoming more famous, they're celebrities now. So I really don't know if he's more so talking about his newfound fame and celebrity or something to do with a sort of relationship he was in. That's why I said previous that this song could mean many different things, because I don't know the true intention of the meaning behind the lyrics. And I'm reading this interesting piece of information here that I didn't know about prior, and it says that in 2003, it was announced that the band Marianas Trench signed to Nickelback frontman Chad Kroger's 604 record label. So that was in 2003, and their debut album was released in 2006, 3 years later. So now we will move on to track number 11, Lover Dearest.
This place is a hole, but I don't wanna go. Sometimes I wish you would leave me. My tongue is turning black, but I'll take you back.
Alrighty, and that was track number 11, Lover Dearest. Sometimes I think that the bitter in you and the quitter in me is the bitter in you and the quitter in me. It's so easy to come back into you. It hurts me to say that it hurts me to stay. And it might be alright if you go. So it looks like this is about a struggling relationship of sorts. He's saying, is the bitter in you and the quitter in me the bitter in you and the quitter in me? And so leave me, I'm not sick of you yet. Is that as good as it gets? I'll just hide it. But it might be alright if you go. It's hurting him to stay, and he's also saying, so leave me, but I'm not sick of you yet. I'll just hide it. It's so easy to come back into you. So this seems to be a back and forth relationship where he's ready to leave, and the bitter in you, the quitter in me, he's ready to quit, but he's not sick of this person yet, so I don't know. He still loves this person perhaps, but at the same time he's saying, sometimes I wish you would leave me, but I'm not sick of you yet. So we have now come to the end of the album, track number 12, Masterpiece Theater Part 3.
I got a new disease in me.
Okay, and that was the final track of Masterpiece Theater. And I always look forward to the end of a Marianas Trench album. It's almost bittersweet because I don't want it to end, but I'm always looking forward to the ending of a Marianas Trench album because I know it's always going to be epic and grand and theatrical, and the ending of any Marianas Trench album is always my favorite part because it's just so epic. In my opinion, another reason why I like the ending of a Marianas Trench album is because it kind of takes the whole album as a whole and wraps it up at the very end. So it kind of takes everything you went through and kind of just presents it to you. I mean, there are times where it does sound similar to albums like Astoria, and now I guess I should say there are parts in Astoria that sounds like their earlier work, like Masterpiece Theater. But regardless, I still enjoyed this album just like all their others. I'm having difficulty now choosing which Marianas Trench album is my favorite, which one might be my least favorite. I'm having issues trying to rank them in my head, which I will do one day. I'm definitely going to do a video where I rank all their albums from my least favorite to my favorite. I liked all the songs on this album. It got me moving, as you saw multiple times. It literally took my breath away. I got exhausted from dancing so much, bouncing up and down on my yoga ball. There were a couple tracks I didn't really care for, that I wasn't really interested in, but as a whole, I really enjoyed the production, and I've said this multiple times, very theatrical, and the harmonies, and Just a very pleasant experience. And what's also interesting is that Josh Ramsey wrote each and every one of these songs, which is very impressive. It says written by Josh Ramsey, just him, no co-writer, just him solo, which is very impressive. So I think that's all I want to say on the album. What are your thoughts? What are your favorite tracks? How does this album hold up to the rest of their discography? And that's essentially that. I will now be moving on to their debut album from 2006, Fix Me. And then that will be the conclusion of this Marianas Trench discography journey. Once again, I do apologize for taking so long to do another one of these Marianas Trench videos. Thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlist, and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.